All right, let's talk about one of the great technology investigations of our time. And no, I'm not talking about Stonehenge or the Bermuda Triangle. We're talking about a true modern-day mystery that has probably frustrated you at some point in your life.
I mean, come on. We've all been there, right? You see those golden arches, you're craving a McFlurry, and then you hear those dreaded words, "Sorry, the machine is down." It's become this global meme, a total running joke. But the real story here is about something way more complex than just a busted machine.
What if I told you that it's not actually broken at all? What if that sign on the door, or that apology you get from the cashier, is actually hiding this crazy story about locked databases, secret error codes, and a massive business model that's literally built on making things complicated on purpose?
So let's dive into this ice cream conspiracy. Our investigation, it really has to start with the machine at the center of it all, the Taylor C602. And you know what? Its main problem is probably not what you're thinking.
See, the machine isn't really broken in the way we'd think. The real issue is its nightly self-cleaning cycle. This thing is, well, it's incredibly fragile. The whole pasteurization process is so sensitive that the tiniest little hiccup, I'm talking a slight change in temperature, or the mix being a little too thick or thin, it just sends the entire machine into a complete lockdown. It's not so much a malfunction as it is a total system meltdown every single night.
Okay, and this right here is where our story takes a turn. We go from a simple mechanical problem to something way more interesting, a database problem. Because the key to figuring out why the machine locked up, well, it's hidden deep inside the machine's own digital brain.
So this Taylor machine, it's constantly creating and storing a ton of diagnostic data. I mean, everything you would ever need to figure out what went wrong is right there. We're talking temperature curves, viscosity readings, error codes, the status of every single component. There is literally a secret database inside every machine logging its entire life story. But here's the kicker. The franchise owner, the person who actually bought the machine, they can't see any of it. A good way to think about it is like the check engine light in your car, right? Any mechanic can plug in a standard tool, read the code, and tell you what's wrong. But with this ice cream machine, oh no. Only a licensed technician from the manufacturer, a company called Taylor, can get into the secret menu and read the code. It is the ultimate black box.
So the big question is, why? Why would you build a system like this? Is the machine actually designed to fail? Well, not exactly.
You see, this isn't a bug. This is a business model. All that complexity, it's not an accident, it's a feature. Taylor, the manufacturer, makes a massive chunk of its money not from selling the machines, but from servicing them. The entire system is built from the ground up to make you dependent on their repair services.
And this setup, it creates this perfect, profitable loop. First, that super fragile cleaning cycle creates an error. Then, the error code it shows on the screen is totally cryptic, means nothing to a normal person. The real diagnostic data that would explain it is locked away, which means the only thing a franchise owner can do is call an expensive Taylor technician, who, get this, often just shows up, types in a secret code, and hits reset. That's it.
And that's the whole game. So, while everyone says the machine is designed to fail, it's actually much more accurate to say it's designed to call Taylor. The entire business model depends on those service calls.
Now, for years, this was just how it was. A super frustrating reality for anyone trying to sell a McFlurry. Franchise owners were just stuck. But then, a small startup came along and threatened to blow this whole system wide open.
Yep, a company called Kytch decided to do the impossible. They did what every single frustrated McDonald's manager on the planet had dreamed of. They figured out a way to peek inside that black box.
So what Kytch built was basically a reverse-engineered API for ice cream. It was this little device you'd plug into the Taylor machine, and it would listen in on its internal data, intercept its communications, and then translate all those bizarre error codes into plain English on your phone. It was so smart it could even predict failures before they happened, sending a message like, hey, the mix is getting a little warm, you should add more.
And just like that, suddenly the machine's so-called mysterious failures weren't so mysterious anymore. Kytch had cracked the code. For the very first time, franchise owners could see that secret database. They could understand what was going on inside their own machines and actually fix the simple stuff themselves without having to wait days for a technician. The entire power dynamic just completely flipped.
Now, as you can probably guess, Taylor and McDonald's were not happy about this. Not at all. And the way they reacted? It took this fast food drama and blew it up into a major battleground.
A battle that was really part of a much bigger global fight over technology that's still happening today, the right to repair.
Because you see, this fight was never really just about ice cream. It was about data, it was about diagnostics, and ultimately it was about control. McDonald's started sending out these memos to all its stores, warning them that using Kytch was a safety risk that could cause, quote, serious human injury. At the same time, Taylor scrambled to build its own version. Lawsuits started flying. This whole thing became a classic right to repair battle, asking the question, who has the right to access the data on a device that you own?
The business strategy behind all of this has a name. It's called vendor lock-in. It's when a customer using a product can't easily switch to a competitor's. By creating this totally closed system with their own secret data and a monopoly on service, Taylor makes sure that once you buy their machine, you are locked into their world for every single repair. And believe me, it's a powerful and very profitable model.
So when you boil it all down, the real reason the ice cream machine is always broken isn't one single thing. It's a whole system of broken incentives. You've got that fragile pasteurization cycle, you've got the locked diagnostic database, you've got the service monopoly, and it's all tangled up in this huge web of corporate complexity.
That's the core of it right there. The machine itself isn't broken. The incentives are. The hardware is probably fine. The problem is a business model where there's absolutely zero financial reason to make the machine more reliable or easier for the owner to fix. In fact, all the incentives point in the complete opposite direction. So it leaves us with this final question. Who really owns the data your devices create? The next time you're at McDonald's and you hear those famous last words, "The ice cream machine is down," remember this whole story. And maybe ask yourself, from your car to your phone to your smart fridge, what other black boxes do you have in your life? And more importantly, who really holds the keys to the data inside?